Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Aishwarya Sophia. I am an Akashic channel and an energy healer, and today we're going to talk about how to use nature to heal yourself. Have you ever wondered why our ancestors seemed to be so much healthier than us? They had such fulfilling lives and they lived in such peace and joy, even though they didn't have a fraction of what we have in today's modern society. I believe that the secret lies in their connection with nature. In today's times, we've lost touch with nature and we've lost touch with the fact that we are nature, that we're so deeply connected to nature in so many ways. I remember when I used to have a corporate job and live in the Bay Area, I lived in a place where I didn't really have access to parks or outdoor space that much, and I was kind of stuck in my apartment most of the day. And my mental health took such a hit, and I used to feel so alone and isolated and not connected, even though I was surrounded by people. This is when I realized that going out and finding nature, even if it's a tree or a body of water or a little patch of grass where I can put my bare feet on the earth and ground, can really help me feel more whole. And this is when I started realizing that all the times that these ancient civilizations and cultures go on and on about our connection with nature, that they might be onto something. And that's what led me down this path of exploring nature as a means to heal ourselves. Everything is energy. Everything vibrates at a certain frequency. And higher frequencies are associated with health and vitality, and lower frequencies are associated with sickness and diseases. The earth has its own frequency called the Schumann resonance. Now, for those who are curious, the Schumann resonance is at 7.83 hertz. And simply by listening to this frequency, you can start to feel more connected, less isolated, more whole in yourself. It's also proven that the Schumann resonance can help us heal and regenerate at a cellular level. There are many ways to use nature to heal ourselves. I'm going to break down a few of my favorite ways and the easiest ways to do this. The first way is by spending time in nature. Now, you can do this in many ways, but the easiest way is to just take a daily walk. Try to do this as soon as you wake up. If you're not able to do that, any time of the day will do. But just take a walk at your local park, at the local lake, at the local trail, right? And just try to really connect with nature during this time. This means that just put your cell phones away, put your AirPods away, put away anything that can interfere in your frequency between you and nature, and just really be present. Tune in to the sounds, the sights, the smells of nature. Connect with the birds. Connect with the water around you. Connect with the fresh air, the trees, and really be present. And do this for a couple days and really start to observe how much more energy you start to have. In our modern way of life, we seem to have forgotten our connection with nature, and we seem to have become shells of ourselves, just waking up, having some caffeine, and just trying to function and get through our day. This simple act of connecting with nature on a daily basis really energizes us and injects that vitality into our being and helps us feel a lot more alive. Another potent thing that you can do is grounding. Now, what grounding is just placing your bare feet on the ground. No shoes, no socks, none of that. And of course, I understand that because of weather or health conditions or many other factors, not all of us are capable of doing this. And maybe we don't have a patch of grass available to us. So this is something, like I said, I'm going to give you many different ways that you can do this. So if there's one specific way that doesn't resonate with you or that you can't really do, don't worry about it. But for those of us who can go out and put our bare feet on the earth, please do that, because I know many people who go out in nature every day, take a walk, and then they just don't take off their shoes, they don't ground, and then they come back. That is really depriving you of the full benefit of connecting with nature, right? So what I suggest is just taking off your shoes and socks, putting your bare feet on the ground, and either standing there or sitting there and really just meditating, or if you don't like to meditate, just connect with the earth. Because the earth gives out negative ions, which are incredibly good for us. And this really helps not only revitalize and re-energize our system, it really helps deepen our connection with the earth. Now, another one of my favorite ways to connect with nature and recharge is by soaking in some sunshine. Now, I remember being a brown girl growing up, I hated getting a tan, right? I hated going out in the sun. But as I grew up and as that programming started to fall away and I didn't care if I was tan, that's when I started going out in the sun more, and I started realizing that I was sleeping better. I was sharper in my everyday life. I was just overall a happier person. And when I looked into it, I realized that just being in the sunlight, especially early morning sun, so think before 9 a.m., and late evening sun, so think after 6 p.m., is just really, really good for you. It helps you produce more melatonin naturally, so you're able to sleep better. It adjusts your circadian rhythm, and there's just endless benefits to the sunlight. And I really think that very similar to plants and even animals, right? I know that if there's a little sliver of sunshine in my house, my dog, she'll just go find that spot. Even cats do this, and they just sunbathe. So when in doubt, look to the natural world, and whatever animals do, it's pure instinct, right? Because they don't have any programming. So in the same way, going and just sitting out in the sun, and I'm not talking about just sunbathing for hours, even if it's 10 minutes or 20 minutes a day, just being mindful, sitting out in the sun and really soaking in all of that goodness, all of the light codes is so good for us. Not to mention that many of us, I know that I'm one of these people, suffer from severe vitamin D3 deficiency. Now, in my case, it's ethnic, but for whatever reason, if you have some of these deficiencies, just going and spending more time out in the sun every day is so immensely beneficial in every way to our being and our sense of well-being and wholeness. Another thing very similar to sunlight is starlight. Now, stargazing or star bathing is something that people have practiced since times immemorial. Many ancient cultures like the Mayans, like ancient Egyptians, all have references to this practice of sitting out down under the stars and just allowing the goodness, right, of the moonlight and the stars to soak into you. This is especially helpful if you identify as a feminine. I'm not talking about gender here, it's energy. If you identify as dominantly feminine energy, whether you're in a male body or a female body, sitting out under the stars and the moonlight especially can really help recharge you. Now, I know that as women, we are very in tune with the moon's energy because we have our moon cycles with the moon, either the full moon or the new moon. So especially for women who have any kind of womb trauma or issues with their womb, sitting out in the starlight and the moonlight is very helpful to regulate that. Another concept I learned from the Japanese, and I just have to say I love Japanese culture because as modern as they are, as technologically advanced as they are, they're still deeply in touch with their roots and with their ancient practices. So I heard of this practice called forest bathing. And this is a Japanese practice. This is the name that they gave it. But basically what it is just going out and being in the woods, right? Or being in the forest for 20 to 30 minutes a day and just allowing that kind of pure, unadulterated, pristine nature to cleanse your aura, to cleanse your energy system. And again, very similar to just being out in nature or sitting in the sun or sitting in the moonlight. There's not much to do, right? These beings are far greater than anything we can fathom. So they know how to cleanse our energy. It's just like saying, trees, you don't have to tell them to breathe out oxygen and take in carbon dioxide. They just do it. So when we start to understand how deeply symbiotic this relationship is between us and Mother Nature, and how much connecting with Mother Nature can help us balance ourselves and our own energy systems, that will be a good day. Another way is to connect with natural bodies of water. So this can be the ocean, this can be a lake, a pond, a little creek, a large river. It can be anything, right? The size of the body of water doesn't matter. What matters is that it's a natural body of water. And if it's a flowing body of water, like a river, a creek, or the ocean, then it's safe to get into the water. Then you can just get in, just ankle deep. Nothing major. You don't have to do a full body cold plunge, although that's amazing. All you have to do is just get in touch with the water. And if you don't feel like getting yourself wet, then just connect with the water. Just sit by the body of water and just connect with that energy. And just imagine the water cleansing your aura fully and completely. This works miracles, especially if you're trying to cleanse yourself of any difficult emotions, or you're trying to cleanse your emotional body, because water governs our emotions and our emotional body. So if you wish to clear yourself of any kind of lower vibrational emotions or energies, this is a wonderful way to do it. Another way, and this is one of my favorite ways, is by hugging trees. Now, I know that many of us are worried about what other people will think, but once you get past that, right? Because I used to think about that. I've loved hugging trees since I was a kid. But, with all the programming we have, and when I was an adult, especially after I moved to the United States, I used to be so conscious of hugging trees because people would look. But then I got over it, like, who cares? This makes me feel so good. Who cares, right? So I would just go hug trees, and then I started seeing how much that started benefiting me. So even if you don't want to hug a tree, just placing your palms on a tree, or placing your third eye on a tree, or even just sitting at the base of a tree with your spine aligned with the tree, right? So if the tree is behind you, you can just sit at the base of the tree and just lean on the tree and really picture all of your energy cycling through the tree's aura, and picture it really releasing all of your negative energy, right? Basically giving your aura a cleanse. Now, especially if you practice this every day and you really get into it, you'll start to see immediate changes. Like when I first got into this practice as an adult, I remember I had a pretty stressful corporate job, and I would try and practice this after work. And maybe the first 2 weeks, I didn't really see an immediate change. But after that time, when I really learned how to do it and I got into the practice, I started seeing such a huge difference in how I felt instantly. So I would finish up work, take the dogs, go to the park, walk them, and then sit by a tree, and I would feel this instant release, and I would feel so refreshed, and I would be so tired like a little wilted flower at the end of my workday. But doing this would instantly perk me up. So do give this a try. And it's very easy for us in this modern world to be skeptic of all of these practices. But what does it say that people have been practicing these things since ancient times? There has to be some truth to it. So I urge you to give this a try for yourself and see what it does to you. Another very easy and simple way to connect with nature is by gardening. any time that you are touching the soil, that you're cultivating plants, right? You're connected with that energy. So a simple act like gardening, growing your own flowers or your vegetables or herbs, and really tending to it and getting used to their cycle and really working with that cycle of nature puts you in sync with nature. Now, we might think that we need to have some kind of elaborate daily practice to be more connected with nature. That's not true, because we are nature. So intrinsically, we're already connected with nature. All we have to do is show up every day to really foster that relationship, right? It's just like any other relationship. It's like any other friendship where it has to be two-sided. It can't just be that nature keeps giving to us and we keep taking. We have to give back. And the way that we give back is through our presence. It's through our gratitude. It's through our love. Now, one of my favorite ways to connect with nature is through hiking. All you have to do, again, just like forest bathing, right? Find yourself a trail that you love, something safe, and just go there every day. And you'll find that the more that you go out and you're in the presence of nature, the more the trees start to recognize your energy, the more connected you'll feel to a tree. Now, everywhere I go, I end up having a favorite tree. And I believe this is because not only do I recognize the tree's energy field, the tree also recognizes mine. And like I said, our relationship with nature is so symbiotic that the more we go out and spend time in nature, it can be camping, it can be hiking, it can be anything, right? It doesn't have to be a bore. In fact, these are some of the funnest things we can do. The more you make time and space to allow nature into your life, the deeper that connection gets. Now, the last way I'll mention on how to connect with nature is through animals. I smile because animals are some of the purest beings that I have ever come across. I mean, if you've ever had a pet, a dog, a cat, a fish, anything, a horse, an alpaca, when you go near them, and if you're sensitive to energies, you'll really feel how full of love they are. You know, you can do anything. Like, you could forget to feed your dog one day, but it's not going to hold that against you. It's still going to love you. It's still going to give you that unconditional love and affection. That's what animals are. So if you're unable to get out of your house and do any of these other things that I mentioned, just connecting with animals, right? And if you don't have a pet, just tuning in and connecting with that frequency of animals really helps you ground yourself and really helps you recharge and cleanse your aura. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how you can heal yourself using the elements. Now, some of these things are slightly similar to what I've already touched on, but it's a slightly different angle. So the first element I want to speak about is air. Now, the first way you can connect with air is simply by going outside and standing when there's a breeze, right? Allow the breeze, just really feel it on your skin and allow the breeze to cleanse you. So what we have to realize here is that it's not the ritual or the act that we perform. As humans, as the level of sentient, highly sentient beings that we are, our intention is our most powerful tool. So if you want to use the air to cleanse yourself, the element of air, all you have to do is set the intention that I'm going to go stand outside and the breeze is going to clear my lower vibrational energies, right? As soon as you set that intention and you go outside and you stand in a breeze, a gust of wind, whatever it is, that's enough for your aura to be cleansed. That's how easy it is for us to work with nature. And if you don't believe me about how easy this sounds, try it for yourself and you'll really see how wonderful it feels not only to connect with nature, but to really allow nature to help you and cleanse you wherever you need that help and cleansing. Another way that you can work with the element of air is by connecting with birds and their spirits, right? So maybe you can do this by going out in nature and when you see a bird, just connecting with it, right? Becoming one with the bird spirit and really feeling the freedom that they must feel when they fly. And just sitting in that vibration for just 5 to 10 minutes can really help uplift you. Another way is if you have a feather, for example, right? Just set that feather at your altar and really set the intention to allow the element of air to permeate your everyday life. So the element of air is known for its levity and its intelligence, its swiftness, its agility. So anytime you need to invoke some of these energies, you can work with the element of air. The next is the element of fire. So given our modern day lives, I think the way that we work with the element of fire is a little bit more limited, but it's still not impossible. One of the best ways to work with the element of fire is to simply connect with that energy, right? Just light a candle like this, or even when you're cooking, right? If you have a stove that is not an induction and there's actual fire, just connect in with that energy and just really feel how fire purifies everything, right? That's why at any sacred ceremony, any sacred space, we always see fire, especially in the ancient cultures. This is because fire is incredibly purifying. Another way you can use fire is if you want to release something. You can write it out on a piece of paper and you can just burn it, right? Do this in a very safe setting. Please make sure you do it outdoors or in a place where you know that that fire can't spread. But having said that, if you're able to use the element of fire to either connect with it or use it to burn away things that you want to release, it is a very, very effective tool. Another way that you can use the element of fire to purify yourself and your space is through smudging. Now, smudging is the act of using any kind of sacred herb or incense and lighting it on fire, and from the smoke, the sacred smoke that comes out of it, you cleanse your space. So what you can do if you wish to use sage, for example, to cleanse your space is you just light it and you just kind of use the smoke and spread it across your entire space. You can do this for yourself. You can cleanse your aura. I even do this for my pet, and I just do this to my car, my whole living space, and I just use this element of fire and this sacred smoke to really cleanse myself and my space. This causes such a tangible reset of energy that every time I do this, I instantly feel uplifted. And if you feel called to use sage or incense to do this, but you haven't tried it, please try it and you'll see what an instant change it causes in the energy around you. The next element I want to talk about is water. Water is so easily accessible to all of us. And one of the easiest ways to use water to cleanse and heal yourself is by taking a dip in the ocean or any other natural body of water, as long as it's safe to do that. Or you can even just dip your feet, you dip your toes, and really imagine the water washing away whatever illness, whatever lower vibrational energies you want to heal or cleanse. And another way you can use water is by charging it. So I have my mason jar full of water that I'm drinking right now. I'm going to quickly show you how you can charge this water with intention. So for example, if you have, let's say, a headache that you want to get rid of, right? Put your water on your left hand and your right hand on top, and just really speak that intention into your water. I intend to heal my headache with this water. I intend to heal my headache with this water. I intend to heal my headache with this water. So be it, right? Water has memory, and water holds intention in its cellular structure. So when you infuse water with intention and you ingest it, what you're doing is you're ingesting your intention. So it goes into your body, conveys that intention to your cells, and you're able to release or heal anything. Now, this works with even more long-standing health conditions, of course, see your doctor. This is not medical advice, but I have healed myself of many long-standing physical pains through this method. The only thing is you have to keep doing it every day for an extended period of time. But given how easy it is, and we're gonna drink water anyway, right? Why not program it to help heal yourself and cleanse yourself? Another way you can use water is by charging it. So what you can do is, I think I spoke about this in another video, in my crystal video, I believe. But what you can do is you can charge water under the sunlight or the moonlight, especially on a full moon, and you can charge it with your intentions, and then you can drink it. So for example, if you want to release heartbreak on a full moon, all you do is, again, take your water, make sure it's a glass jar because it allows the energy to enter. And it doesn't have to be a big jar. Even if it's a small jar, that's enough. So what you do is you write your intentions, you place it underneath the water, put the water out in the sunlight or the moonlight to charge it, and then you can just drink it, right? This done consistently has helped me heal from so many emotional and physical trauma even, that I know from experience that it's very effective. Now, the last element I want to talk about is earth. Now, I've already spoken about earth just in detail, about connecting with nature, grounding, hugging trees, gardening, camping and hiking and all of those fun things. But one way you can really connect with Mother Earth is by conveying your gratitude. Maybe bringing in like a lock of grass or a flower or a little bit of soil from outside, right? Placing it in a cup in your sacred space and really just revering Mother Earth. I mean, she is the planet that we live on. She holds us all and she provides us with this beautiful life that we have. So just conveying gratitude like that and really following that up with your intention of what you want to heal or purge or cleanse will really help you heal yourself using the element of earth. Now, another way you can use nature to heal yourself is by whole foods. Now, I'm vegetarian, some people are vegan, some people eat meat, some people pescatarian. I am not talking about food preferences. To each their own. There is no judgment. Whatever suits your system, please eat it. What I am saying is try to incorporate more whole foods into your diet. So if you can eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, if you can eat more organic green leafy vegetables, if you can eat more let's say nuts and seeds, and you can eat any of those things, just increase the amount of whole foods that are in your diet. Another way is by really trying out tinctures and flower remedies, for example. So there's a tincture for everything. For example, if you want a tincture for your skin, for hair growth, for anti-inflammation, there's a tincture for all of it. So look into tinctures. I will leave links to a couple of shops that I like to shop at. I'm not going to make any money from any of these links. I just genuinely love these shops. So check out or try and explore tinctures as a way to heal yourself. What tinctures are is they're herbs, flowers, different medicinal plants that are infused either in glycerin or alcohol, and they come in very small jars because they're very concentrated, and you either have to take them under your tongue once a day or infuse them in your water. Now, Bach flower remedies, which are more popular and mainstream, are a great example of tinctures that work wonders. So definitely check out tinctures and Bach flower remedies as another way to use nature to heal and cleanse yourself. Now, last but not least, one of my favorite ways to connect with nature to heal myself is by using crystals. Now, I'm not going to talk a lot about this subject because I've just posted a video about crystals. I will link that below. So be sure to check out the description box for links to related videos and useful links on where you can find some of these things that I've mentioned in this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. Check out my website if you feel called to receive a healing from me. Check out my Etsy shop if you want a fun reading from me. And I will see you in my next video. Namaste.